Hello, good late afternoon. It is not morning, it is late afternoon, so I can't say good morning like I normally do. But I've just gotten off of the train from Paris, and it's such a beautiful day today that I thought that I would walk to Aberdeen, save myself a cab fare, and enjoy this gorgeous, gorgeous sunny afternoon, especially since I only have my little backpack with me today. And I'm loving it. This is really beautiful today, and it is 17 degrees. That's like 63 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm not even wearing my coat. I'm just wearing a t-shirt. It's amazing. I'm so happy. Anyway, I'm gonna continue my little walk back towards Aberdeen, and I'll see if there's some nice scenic shots I can get for you guys on the way. One of my very favorite things to do in the world is just go on a long walk and listen to podcasts or an audiobook. It just brings me like a calm feeling that just is the best thing. I absolutely love just walking and listening. So I've got my whole list of podcasts on my phone at all times. Today is a Monday, so it's This American Life, because new episodes of This American Life come out on Monday. But I also have been really into a podcast. I mean, I don't know if you guys are particularly interested in podcasts, but I thought I'd just plug a couple since I'm walking and listening. There's one called Rex Factor that I'm a huge fan of. They go through all the kings and queens of England and rate them. And then in kind of the same format, there's Totalis Rankium that does the same thing with Roman emperors, which I never really was into Rome that much. And since I started listening to them, I've actually really gotten into Roman history. And they also do American presidents, which is hilarious. I've got a new episode of Totalis Rankium to listen to. Probably if I start working on a project tonight, which I might, I'll probably break that out. It's George W. Bush Part 2, and it promises to be epic. I also have a bunch of audiobooks to listen to because I didn't realize, funny story, that I was still subscribed to Audible through Amazon.com, the US version, at the same time that I was subscribed to audible.fr, the French version. So I've just discovered that I had 12 audiobook credits. So I've got 12 audiobooks to get through. I think I can make it. I'm very committed to my audiobooks, but yeah, it was a surprise. But yeah, love a walk and a listen. You're very friendly. Hello. Hi. Come over and say hello. Aw, that's a good horse. I've arrived at Aberdeen. Everything's good. Everything is spider free. Usually when I come back from being gone, there's at least one spider that snuck in, but today there were 0 spiders, which was a great improvement. But I have got a glass of wine. I've sat down, and to be honest, there's no projects that are happening tonight. I was like debating if I want to work on the last couple of rows of tiles in the shower, but that's going to be a project for tomorrow. So my plan is finish my wine, watch a movie, do a few emails and things like businessy things I need to do, and then go to bed very early, wake up very early, and get started on the last little bits in the shower and whatever other projects take my interest. So I don't know what that's going to be, but we'll find out. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Good morning. All right, so I've woken up, I've had a little breakfast, and I'm ready to dive in, get to work. I'm glad that I had kind of a slow night last night. I think I needed just a chill and drink wine kind of night. But today we are ready to dive in. I am going to start off by doing the last couple of rows of tile on the top of the shower. I just get that done, and then probably doing the grout on the part that's already dry, so that all I have to do tomorrow morning is the grout on the new part, and then the shower will be done with the tiles. And then I'd like to do some other things today, but I just don't know what those things are. So we're going to start with those two projects and see where we get. And the rest is a mystery. It'll be a surprise for all of us. Anyway, I'm going to get started. Well, the good news is I've arrived at the very top row of tiles. Bad news is I've set two little traps for myself up here without realizing it. The first trap is that when I did this part of the glue, I let it dry. And now it is rock hard, and it is thick enough that it's going to keep the new tiles away from the wall. So I'm going to have to go through and chisel off all of that glue with a chisel. The other trap is that this section, wait, I'll get a tile to show you, hang on. Okay, this section is narrower than a standard tile. Actually, one almost fits in there, but if I come down here at the end of the row, you can see a standard tile is not going to fit in there. And the problem is I cannot cut 1/2 centimeter off of a tile lengthways along it. Like, that's just not going to happen. So my plan is that instead of doing full length tiles like this, I'm instead going to do little tile squares. I haven't explained that very well, but I think it'll look nice. Here are some tile squares. I've just done a bit of this row. I think it looks quite good. I mean, there's just no way I'm going to be able to cut lengthwise along tiles to make them fit in. So I think these squares are actually looking pretty good and a much more practical option. So I'm going to continue that around to the rest of the top row. Do you know what this is? It's the last tile. No, 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 you're gonna fit. I demand that you fit in. No, I'm not cutting any more tiles. It's good enough. It's good enough. Okay, it's in. Everything's fine. I didn't have a breakdown. Everything's fine. Ooh, look at that. It's finished. It's so beautiful. Well, I say it's finished. It's not grouted. I have not done the grout. What's the past tense of grouted? Grouting? It is not sporting its grout yet. Because I'm going to let this dry overnight. And I was thinking about if I should do the grout on this part. It is definitely dry enough. But to be honest, I think I'm just going to do all the grout together tomorrow. So I'm going to let the new bit dry tonight and launch myself in on the grout tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm also, I think, going to start on the rest of the room, which looks like this. But basically, we need to sand down this wall and use some putty to fill in the little cracks. And we need to remove these like plastic sheets that are meant to be faux tiles. So that needs to happen. We need some putty over here. I need to remove that thing. Don't know what that is, but it needs to go. The only thing that I'm a little bit hesitant, I don't really know what to do with, is that, oops, I've knocked a screwdriver to the ground, is this medicine cabinet. So that's definitely going to go because we have a different medicine cabinet to put up in here. And there's going to be a mirror on this wall anyway. So I think the new medicine cabinet is going to go here because it's quite flat. And then there will be a mirror over a new sink here, or possibly a sink in the corner. Haven't decided yet. But this medicine cabinet has to go. However, it is also the light. And I don't really know how to remove it and still have light in here to work with. So that's a question, but we'll think about it tomorrow. In the meantime, Laurent has continued to be the sweetest boyfriend ever and is insisting that I take a break and relax. So I am going to clean up just enough so that I don't trip over things if I come in here in the night. And then cook some dinner, have some wine, do some emails, maybe watch a series if I have time, have a bath, maybe my last bath. No, probably not my last bath, but soon it will be time to shower. Anyway, I'm going to do all those things. I'm going to crash for the night and I will pick this up again tomorrow morning. Look at that. It is gorgeous this morning. Oh, the sunshine. I just stuck my head out the window to see what kind of temperature it was outside, and I was stunned. I never can get used to the views here. Every side of the house has such a beautiful view. It's so nice when you wake up in the morning to look out your window and there's a beautiful sunlit chateau. It's gorgeous. Anyway, I am up and about. I'm ready to get started on the shower again. The only thing left to do for this phase of the shower is to do the grout. So that's what I'm going to start with, and then potentially I can have a shower before I have to leave. There is some question about that because a friend of Laurent's has potentially got a job for me teaching some dance classes in Paris on Friday. So I might have to leave tomorrow, Thursday, when I was in fact planning on leaving on Friday. We'll see what happens with that, but if I leave on Friday as planned, I will probably get to have a shower in the new shower. It's time to get to work. Let's get going. Also, I have an internal debate happening about I'm turning off the heat in all the rooms except for the living room because I'd be working in the shower room, which feeds off the living room, and therefore that's the area I'm working in. But all the heat in the other rooms is turned off. I'm debating whether it's actually warmer if I leave this window open in the bedroom. I think it might be warmer outside than it is inside the house. It is cold, but I just got a €400 heating bill when I've only been here for about 10 days this winter. Oh, so, okay, yeah, the heat needs to be very sparse, but that means it is very cold in the house. Right now I'm wearing 2 pairs of leggings and my like painting sweatpants, and then 2 jumpers and this sweatshirt over the jumpers. It cold. Anyway, I'm gonna get to work. If I work, then I'll warm up. I tried really hard to get the consistency that it said on the package, so we'll see if this is good. Oh God, it's falling off the thing. Okay, let's see how this goes. Now, they told me to grout diagonally and not with the tiles, but I'm not really sure in this pattern which one is diagonal. This seems to be like pretty okay though. It's getting in there. All right. Well, let's get going and do the whole thing. And then I'm supposed to wipe it down and we'll see how things go from there. I've got most of the green tiles covered with the grout. It's looking good. It's a little bit more difficult to do than I expected, but I think that's just because there's so many angles. The thing that I'm slightly worried about is that I've just mixed up a bit more grout, and this is the end of the bag, and I still have all of the white bottom part, all of the white top part, and most of this green wall to do. So I'm worried we're gonna run out of grout. I'm gonna have to go to the hardware store and get more, which is not the end of the world, it's just a bit annoying. We did like check to make sure we were getting a bag of grout that said it would cover enough square meters to do the shower, but possibly I've mixed it like slightly thicker than I'm supposed to, or possibly the tile pattern. Again, the most difficult pattern I could possibly have chosen, but it does look great. But it is not easy to work with, and I think that maybe because there's like so many angles in that herringbone pattern, maybe that's taking up like more grout than expected also. Okay, I've mixed this batch a little thinner, and now it's going on a lot easier, and it's going quite a bit farther, so this seems to be the ideal consistency. I know I'm applying it like a psychopath. I know. I know. It's done. Well, it has to dry. But I think it's done. I'm just gonna clean up a bit and then I'll show you guys the finished product. Just while it's drying a bit for me to be able to wipe it all down properly, I've had an idea. I'm just gonna go in the kitchen and try something. Let's see if it works. Okay, so this is the little area behind the stove that needs a backsplash. And we have a whole box of these tiles left over from the shower. I don't know if a whole box would cover like the entire backsplash, but it would save some money. I'm just gonna just set them in place and have a look and see if, is that what we wanna do here in the kitchen? Here's option 1, vertical. I quite like the color. I think the color looks great with the white cabinets, my little green toaster and kettle set, and with the color of the walls, which never shows up on the camera. I swear the walls are painted. Not this one, which is white, but over here. For some reason, the camera just does not pick up that color. Anyway, I think that's really nice. I think what we want to do is do the whole rectangular section here. But I'm not sure about vertical. Let me try putting them horizontally. Maybe that's better. I'm just trying to think of something that's not the herringbone pattern because I don't want them to be too similar to the shower. Okay, I like them horizontally. I'm using 2 wine bottles to hold them up. I definitely like horizontal better than vertical. I don't know. What do you guys think? Which do you prefer? Do you prefer vertical? Do you prefer horizontal? Or do you prefer the herringbone pattern like in the shower? Would it be weird to have a kitchen and a shower with the same tiles? This is the other place I was thinking about having a backsplash. Over here behind the sink, under the stairs. I guess another option could be not to do like really a full chunk of tiles, but actually just to do like 2 or 3 layers thick, because that comes up high enough to protect the wall and like serve the purpose of being a backsplash. But also then it's a little bit more kind of subtle. I kind of like that. Maybe that's the answer. I don't know. Help me decide, guys. I've got indecision again about tiles. All right, I've cleaned up and ta-da! It's done! Oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm so happy it's done. So all I have to do now is wait for it to dry. And then it will be time for a shower. The dream is coming true. However, of course, we are going to change out this this hardware here for new shower handles and spout. What do you call those? New shower head and thing. I don't know. Anyway, the new hardware is downstairs in the garage. That will get changed out for a nice, new, beautiful one. We also are going to add a shower door around the edges here. That's why the edges have been left unfinished. But we haven't bought the door yet. So that's going to be definitely a when Laurent is here project. I think it's looking really great. I'm so happy that it is this close to done. Oh, it's amazing. So the next step is to kind of get started in the rest of the room. I'm going to take a few minutes now. I'm going to remove these plastic fake tiles, which hopefully should be pretty easy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to remove those. That might be a job for the grinder. I don't know if I want to get into that today. I'm pretty tired. And then I'm going to maybe sand this wall and put some putty on it to smooth out the cracks. Looking a lot better. Well, I say better, but the plastic fake tiles are gone. So I'm going to count that as better. And now I'm going to jump in on fixing these cracks in the wall. So I've got my trusty screwdriver and I'm going to use that just to open up each of these cracks and get them ready to put some putty in them to fill them and fix them. Wall is nice and prepped. So I opened up all the cracks and then I just kind of brushed with a paintbrush all of the extra little bits of plaster and dust out of where I'd opened them. And then I did just one little coat of paint. Fortunately, I had a leftover paint sample because it doesn't really matter what kind of paint you use at all. It just needs some little paint to keep it from crumbling. And now I'm just going to run to the hardware store before it closes so I can get the right kind of putty to close this up, and then it can dry overnight. here's what I'm doing up close just so you can see. I'm taking the bigger cracks, like for example this one. I am filling them up with some putty. And then I am putting this stuff, which is basically just a paper band, over them. You can see right here. And then covering the paper band with the putty, and this just helps ensure that the cracks won't return. So yeah, just a little extra precaution, especially because this room will have a lot of moisture in it. Every time I start doing anything with putty, I'm like, this time I'm going to be neat, and this time I'm going to be really professional, and it's going to stay controlled. And then 5 minutes later, I'm putting on putty with my fingers like a 5-year-old in preschool. Yay, that wall is all done. Well, done. I still have to wait for it to dry and then smooth out everything. That looks a little sketchy. Why does that one look sketchy? Maybe this wasn't my best work. There might be some bits we have to redo. Well, we'll see. Hello, it is the end of another video, and it's time once again for the chateau guessing game. As usual, I'll show you a chateau and a crazy person running behind me. Where'd he go? Oh, there he goes. And then you guys can guess if you know this chateau. I'll give you a few hints for this one because apart from that there's a lunatic in the garden, it's maybe a little less well known than some of the ones I've covered. But before I do any of that, I'm going to remind you guys to please do take a minute to subscribe because it is immensely helpful, and I'll keep you up to date on all the videos that I'm putting up. And it really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm, etc.
Do it, or I'm going to run after you.
Oh,
like
wow.
I'm running after her.
This got very aggressive very quickly. Anyway, with that, I'm getting a little afraid, but I'm going to show you the chateau and give you a couple of hints. All right, so this chateau is about 2 hours away from Paris, and it is a 17th century chateau. It was built in 1662, and it was built as a gift for Madame de Maintenon, the mistress and future wife of Louis XIV, the Sun King, and it is not Chateau de Maintenon. So those are a few hints. If you think you know what chateau this is, then leave a guess in the comments and I will credit you if you're right in the short that's coming up about this chateau. And with that, I will see you guys next time.